It's being billed as the Battle by the Bay. Coach Mike McDaniel returns to San Fran to face his former team.
It won't be hard at all. It is football.
It'll be about the players, led by MVP candidate Tua Tagovailoa, who has lit up the league.
We've done a lot of good things, but there's still a lot of things that have been left out on the field.
The Fins begin their most difficult stretch of the season. 3 straight playoff caliber opponents await.
There is nothing better than meaningful December and January games.
The gauntlet begins today as your Miami Dolphins face the 49ers. And now, Carnival Cruise Line presents 7 on the Sidelines.
Hi, everybody. Welcome out live to Levi's Stadium in beautiful Santa Clara, California. Here is your look at Dolphins starting quarterback Tua Tagovailoa going through his pregame visualizations. Remember, Tua is a perfect 8-0 in games when he is healthy, and a phenomenal opportunity for him and this Dolphins team to win a very tough road game against a very good team in the San Francisco 49ers. Hi, everybody. Welcome out live to our 7 on the Sidelines pregame show. We are just outside the Dolphins locker room. I am Josh Moser. Here is a look at where we are at. The players will be walking by right here as we take you up to kickoff over the next 30 minutes. Remember, Miami comes in with an 8-3 record. They're sitting atop the AFC East, riding a 5-game win streak. 49ers also on a 4-game win streak. They're finalizing their game plans, and now we want to share our game plan with you for the next half hour. Again, we're taking you right up to kickoff here on 7 on the Sidelines. We're hitting you with all the big storylines, the homecoming of sorts for multiple Dolphins players and coaches. We're bringing in our insider, Drew Rosenhaus, for his views on the game and the status of the team. Plus, we go one-on-one with the Dolphins' new $110 million linebacker, Bradley Chubb. Then, of course, we discuss the extended stay out west leading up to next week's Chargers games. But let's talk about this one. The Dolphins scoring a franchise-best 30 points in 4 straight games. Miami, perfect in the month of November, including last week's 30-15 win over the Texans. The 49ers also perfect in the 11th month of the season. This is a great test on the road for the Fins against a playoff team.
At some point in time, you're going to have to play teams that are really good. You're not going to be given anything, and it's going to be in front of a live audience. The stakes are going to be all in.
I think it's a great challenge and a great thing to be able to do this and kind of just go out there and put our best foot forward.
Gotcha. Now we've got to bring in our Donovan Campbell to the show because there are so many connections between those two teams. Hi, Donovan.
What's going on, Josh? When Mike McDaniel left the Bay for South Beach, he took a gang of familiar names with him, making today's showdown with the Niners and the Fins that more intriguing. When the Dolphins take on the Niners, there will be plenty of familiar faces greeting each other throughout Levi's Stadium.
Naturally, when it came up on the schedule at the beginning of the year, all of us were a little bit excited, to go back there. But obviously, we have a cloud over our heads of, all of us were there last year, so it's not like you can just overlook it. But yeah, we're excited.
Former Niners assistant Mike McDaniel brought a plethora of players from the Bay when he became Miami's head coach. Some of you even tagged the Dolphins, the 49ers Southeast.
We put our time and our due over there, and, that's where we got our jump start, for our career. So just going back, man, you get a little anxious.
The list of former San Francisco players include the running back tandem of Raheem Moser and Jeff Wilson Jr., as well as wide receivers Robert Craycraft and Trent Sherfield Jr., who are all looking forward to taking on their former teammates.
It'll definitely feel different, because obviously everybody knows that's the only place I've been for 4.5 years of my career. To go back, it's going to be kind of different, but I know it's going to be fun as well.
While it'll be smiles and hugs before and after the game, for 60 minutes of football, all the players want to bring the heat.
Obviously it's going to be it's going to be fun to go back and see some of the guys and, that I played with and everything like that. Like, I got brothers on that team that I still talk to this very day. There's no bad blood between me or any other guys there or, any coaches or anything like that. Like, I don't got to prove anything to anybody.
And with both teams riding winning streaks of at least 4 games, Come Sunday, something's gotta give.
It's going to be a lot of bulletin board material flying around, but those guys are pros, and I think that's where the true test comes from.
Well, let's hope it's the Finns that come up with all the right answers for the tough test ahead in those San Francisco 49ers. Josh?
Thanks so much, Donovan. Remember, Teron Armstead, the team's left tackle, will not play in today's game, officially ruled out. But we've got to talk about this head coaching matchup because we know that head coach Mike McDaniel and head coach Kyle Shanahan are very close friends. They were actually on staff in Washington for Kyle's father, Mike, more than 10 years ago, and now they have a chance to go up against one another for the first time as head coaches. And McDaniel, Kyle's offensive coordinator last season in the Bay Area. Coach saying that the two are still in weekly contact with one another. However, this week the phone has been ringing a little bit less.
I recognized in him early that he really could help players grow and live out their dreams. He knew more than anybody that I'd been around about football. So, you try to be a resource.
I never knew how he would do in those press conferences or how he'd come off. That's how he is all the time to us, even a little bit worse probably. And it's an acquired taste sometimes.
Maybe he felt bad for me, or maybe he recognized that I was listening. Really don't know where I'd be at without it.
We've got the team going back into the locker room, making the final preparations right now. Again, we're about 20 minutes to kickoff. But what is a pregame show without our very own Drew Rosenhaus? He joins our Mike DePasquale back in the studio to set up the game.
We are joined by our Dolphins insider, Drew Rosenhaus. Drew, good to have you. Let's get it started.
Sure.
Do players like facing or, in fact, get fired up against their old team?
Of course they do. Now, you've got Mike McDaniel, the coach, some other coaches that were with McDaniel from the Niners, and a bunch of players. The running backs, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Trent Sherfield, the wide receiver, River Craycraft. So they are going to be fired up, especially playing in San Francisco in their old stadium against their former coaches, and Shanahan in particular, the head coach. So, yeah, that is going to be extra motivation for those guys.
As we all know, the 49ers have the best defense in football right now. What would a good offensive performance mean for Tua?
It would mean a lot, really, because going to San Francisco and playing well in San Francisco against that vaunted defense, and they might be the best in the NFL, would really say a lot about him. It's one thing to play well against the Texans. It's another thing to play well against this San Francisco team. That would be huge for Tua.
San Fran's defense is led by former St. Thomas Aquinas High star Nick Bosa. I feel old because I covered him in high school. What makes him such a challenge to face?
Bosa's just unreal. He and his brother, Joey, who the Dolphins will face the following week with the Chargers, they're two of the best players in the league, regardless of position. Nick is just a physical specimen. He's as big and as strong and as fast as you could possibly ask for. If you were to build the ultimate defensive end, he would be it. He's going to become the NFL's highest paid defensive player this offseason, I'm sure. He's been unblockable. That's a huge challenge for the Dolphins and their banged up offensive line.
Drew, there's a lot of hype with the next 3 games, and they are as tough as they can get. How many wins do you expect?
I expect 1 win. Getting 2 out of the 3 would be huge. And these are real tough contests. The Dolphins are underdogs in San Francisco. Obviously, the best chance I think they have is at the Chargers. I think they're a better overall team than the Chargers. And at Buffalo is going to be very hard, particularly in mid-December and that weather. But I think if the Dolphins can snag 1 of the 3, with the Chargers being the most likely, and get to 9 wins and 5 losses, that would be tremendous. 9-5 would be sweet.
All right, we're going to see you later with your final thoughts, so don't go anywhere. Josh, we toss it back to you.
Thank you both very much. Again, we are moving closer to kickoff, less than 20 minutes now, but we got a lot more to come on 7 on the sidelines. When we return, we take you through the flight and let you know what the team did on the long trip out across the country. Plus, we sit down with new linebacker Bradley Jubb. The Pro Bowler brought over at the trade deadline has already played the 49ers this season. He explains how that experience will help you today. Stay with us.
And now, Carnival Cruise Line presents 7 on the sidelines.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back out inside Levi's Stadium. I'm Josh Moser. This matchup today between the Dolphins and 49ers featuring two quarterbacks that are playing very well right now. Tua Tagovailoa is a legitimate MVP candidate. This team has not lost since he returned from concussion protocol. And Jimmy Garoppolo playing very well for the 49ers since taking over for Trey Lance. Remember, he got hurt back in week 2, and he's got weapons all over the field, just like the Dolphins. The most elusive, Deebo Samuel. He can hurt you in so many ways, in so many different spots on the field.
Yeah, they're a super talented offense, got a lot of moving pieces. They definitely test their edges, so we're going to have to play real disciplined brand of football. When you have the opportunities, you got to take advantage of them. So we're definitely going to get after it. Obviously, they have really talented tackles, really talented O-line. Jimmy's a great guy, so yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Jalen just peeking his head out right now. He says he is feeling very good, wants to bring down Jimmy, but this team will stay out west following that game. And for the long road trip ahead, we bring in our Mike DePasquale to discuss. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Josh, and we know this is a business trip for the Dolphins. They'll have some downtime for team bonding activities. Now, aside from packing some extra clothes, of course, there are some must-have items you cannot forget to bring. Once today's game in San Francisco against the 49ers is over, the Dolphins are staying in California. Next Sunday, they'll face the Chargers in Los Angeles. Players will get a chance to really know each other.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Huge deal to me. It's nice because you don't have anywhere to go. So I think that time is very important.
Let's get guys to go out. Let's do things with our guys. So whether that's finding a basketball game to go to, trying to find a box, trying to go rent out a movie theater, Topgolf, we'll try to find some things that we can do.
First-year Dolphins running back Moser hopes to learn more about his teammates off the field.
Oh, yeah. You definitely learn a lot more about your teammates, what ticks a guy off, a little bit easier, or what he really likes.
The Dolphins will have some downtime on this long 10-day, 2-game road trip. We asked receiver Jalen Waddle what he can't live without.
I would say my video game, but I'm pretty sure somebody's going to bring theirs, so I don't need no extra luggage.
Linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel has packed what he needs to kill some time.
I'm big into cards, so a few of us guys will get together and play some sort of game and just spending time, going out to eat, going out to nice restaurants.
Linebacker Jalen Phillips is from Southern California.
When we're on an away trip like this, spending a whole week in LA, you better believe we'll walk around my old stomping ground. Yeah, I'll have a little bit of time, off day on Tuesday, things like that. I know my mom's gonna come out, drive out, hang out. So yeah, I'll be able to see a couple of guys.
Now, when the Finns are in Los Angeles, the Kings, Lakers, and Clippers are all out of town. So if you can't go to a game, catching a movie might be the next best choice. That'll do it in Miami. Back to you, Josh, in Santa Clara.
All right, thanks so much, Mike. We have a great one, hopefully, on our hands, everybody. Again, we're about 10 minutes to kickoff. We've got some great stuff coming up after the break, including our sit-down with Bradley Chubb. This should be phenomenal. We talk about the transition to Miami from Denver after being dealt at the trade deadline. Plus, was Jimmy Garoppolo almost a Dolphin? The 49ers quarterback explaining just how close he was to donning the aqua and orange. Welcome back out live. We are just outside the visiting locker room here at Levi's Stadium. The 49ers have shut out opponents in the second half in all of the last 4 games. Miami will need a fast start, both offensively and defensively. But we've got to talk about Jimmy G because he's the person that leads this 49ers team. Remember, he stepped back into the starting role after Trey Lance got hurt in week 2. And Garoppolo saying this week he was in talks with the Dolphins when he was a free agent last season.
Yeah, they were in a conversation. Not much came from it, but they were definitely one of the teams in the conversation. Seemed like a good spot as an offense. That's tremendous skill players, everything they got going over there. Mike, being a great coach, had been with him in the past year, and it was discussed. But I'm glad the way things worked out.
The Dolphins' biggest recent move was trading for Bradley Chubb at the deadline. Just before this trip, we had a chance to sit down to talk about the transition from Denver to Miami and to this new Dolphins locker room. We're here with Dolphins linebacker Bradley Chubb. Thank you for making the time for us on our pregame show. You have a unique situation. You're the only player on this Dolphins team to already play the 49ers. You got a key sack against Jimmy Garoppolo in the fourth quarter. You guys got the win. How does that experience help you now going into this game?
Yeah, man, I've been making a little joke around the week that I'm in a division of my own. I played the Texans, I played the 49ers, and play a couple of teams we see in the future as well. So it's cool, man. It's a good advantage just because I know what to expect, what they like throwing at different defenses, different looks and stuff like that. So being a new scheme, new team, I'm excited to see how it goes.
December football, everything is elevated. You go from the Broncos to now the Dolphins that are a contender. How special is that?
It's special, man. Just at first it kind of seemed like it was, all over the place. I had a whirlwind of emotions. I had to leave my old team, been here for 4 years, but when I opened my eyes and saw like where I was, man, and saw the opportunity I had ahead of me, man, I couldn't do nothing but smile and embrace it, So I'm excited about it. I'm doing everything I can to help this team continue this win streak, continue to stacking these wins.
Just want to clarify that you like the beach more than the mountains
100%,
now, right?
100%. Love the beach. The mountains are okay, but they get old quick.
Realistically, you've only been here a month. What's your best part about Miami that you've experienced?
Man, just the sun, honestly, man. Just being out in the sun, having it be 85 plus every day, sweating, going out there and practice and kind of getting that pregame sweat and all that out of me. So when I do play in the games, it's kind of like I'm playing fast and stuff like that.
9 figures, $110 million.
Yeah.
Describe the feeling of putting the pen to the paper there.
Putting the pen to the paper was kind of like the on the back burner. Like, it was cool to do that, to get the pictures, but my main thing was the night before when I found out everything was about to happen. And my mom was actually down here helping me get settled in and stuff, and my agent was down here as well. So just like those whirlwind of emotions, seeing her smile from ear to ear, had tears coming out my eyes, just everything, all those emotions that I went through with the injuries and keeping my head down and making sure I just, played and did everything I knew how to do. So to see it pay off, to see it work out, it was for sure dope. So, man, I just can't do nothing but play hard for the Dolphins, man. They gave me the opportunity to be out here with all that money, man, so I can't be too mad.
You stay out west. Chargers Sunday Night Football. What do you think that week's going to be like? How does that help you guys come together, just spending all of that extra time together?
It's going to be like a field trip when you think about it, like a bowl game back in college. When you're here during the week, guys go home to their families, guys go home and do whatever they have to do because, they're home. They're not really thinking. Once we leave the building, it's about, taking care of your family and stuff. So I know a lot of people, families probably won't travel all the way to the West Coast for that week. So it's going to be more of guys and just making sure we stay close and getting closer. So it's going to be, like I said, like a bowl game, man, just staying around your guys and football 24/7. So it's going to be fun.
The stretch run to the playoffs starts now. We will learn a lot about this Dolphins team today in this matchup against the 49ers. That's because San Francisco boasts the top defense in the entire league. Of course, everybody knows Nick Bosa from his time growing up in Southern California. They've got playmakers all over the field on this side of the ball. And Jalen Waddle saying the offense knows just how good and precise they need to be against this very good San Francisco defense.
They're number one defense for a reason. They play good together. They're very sound on defense. They don't make any mental errors.
For us, I don't think we look at it as something that we shy away from. We embrace adversity. We embrace competition. It's a great opportunity for us to showcase what we can do.
We're about 5 minutes away. We've got to take a quick commercial break. We've got our final thoughts on the other side. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. We have player intros going on right now. Let's go back to Miami very quickly for a pick with Drew and Mike.
Drew is back with us. We're minutes away from kickoff. And Drew, what is your prediction?
You know what, on paper, Mike, this looks like the Niners game. They're playing really well. They've got one of the best defenses in football. Garoppolo's been tough on offense. The game is in San Francisco. Long trip for the Dolphins. But I'm going to predict the upset. I think this Dolphin team is hot. They've won 5 games in a row. I think their offense is better than the Niners offense. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, but I'm going to pick the underdogs and go with our Dolphins.
As always, for entertainment purposes only. Thank you, Drew. Back out to you, Josh.
The 49ers are favored by 4 points, everybody, but the Dolphins, they've got something special right now. Magical on the offense. We will see if they can make it 6 straight wins and stay atop the AFC East. That will do it for us on our pregame show, 7 on the Sidelines. Enjoy the game right here on Channel 7. Of course, we recap the entire day on Lexus Sports Extra tonight at 11:30. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And as always, fins up.